full body CARS video, controlled articular rotations. So you're going to rotate each joint from top to bottom for 2 to 4 rotations each direction. Okay, this is a really good morning routine to do every single day or whenever you can, or you can use this as a warm-up, or you can do this when you're feeling stiff or before bed, whenever you can do it. So you might want to have some kind of like firm pillow or a very light ball to use as feedback. If not, that's fine. Okay, so I'm going to do it without the ball for now. So we're going to start with the cervical spine. We're going to go into the shoulders, the elbows, the wrists, the rib cage, the lumbar spine, the hips, the knees, the ankles, the feet, all of that good stuff. Okay, this won't take longer than like 7 to 10 minutes. Okay, so start with your neck, with your cervical spine. So I'll show you from the side. I'm going to try to make this as swift as possible, so follow along. Okay, try to feel where your body is in space versus see, but I get that you want to watch the video first. So tuck your chin, swipe your chin against your right shoulder, reach the back of your head to the top of your shoulders, left shoulder, swipe the bottom of your rib cage over to your left, all the way back. So essentially we want to draw the biggest circle we can make with each specific joint without involving any other joint. Slow and steady. Okay, that's the cervical spine. Let's move on to the shoulders. So, or the glenohumeral joint. So, show you from the side. Get up onto your shins, tuck your hips. You can also do this standing. Palm faces up as if you're holding a dish. Okay, palm faces up, creates a lot of tension in your right shoulder. From here, start to rotate from the shoulder and elbow in. Right, so take your thumb in, move nothing but your shoulder, palm faces up now, reach it away from you, swipe your hip, now go the other way, push away with your palm facing away. From here you have no more space, turn the shoulder up, turn the palm up, reach back forward, okay? Throw an imaginary plate behind you. From here there's no more space, rotate the shoulder, elbow, wrist away from you. Swipe your hip, reach your fingertips away from you, fingertips together, rotate inside of the shoulder joint, start to face the palm up. One more. Lots of tension in the right shoulder. Okay, imagine you're moving through inside of a bottle of glue or honey, or just like a really hot day. Okay, so other shoulder, tuck your hips, create tension in your belly, palm faces up, bring it up to your shoulder until there's no more space, palm faces in, rotate, cut the air behind you, swipe your thigh, palm faces away from you until there's no more space. This is where you want to start rotating up, swipe your ear, palm faces up, serve the dish. Throw the dish behind you gently with the elbow straight. Start to rotate the thumb in, cut the air behind you. Swipe your thigh, push away. Palm faces up, cut the air. Palm faces back up. Okay, I think that was 3 each direction. I might have lost count. That's the shoulder, okay? Now we're gonna move on to the shoulder blades. So you wanna get into a tabletop, okay? Keep your hips still, keep your head still. You want to take your shoulder blades, which sit on the back side of your rib cage, and let them kiss, and then push them away from each other. Okay, so you want to do this action in tabletop. Shoulder blades together, shoulder blades apart. Your ribs stay where they are, elbows don't bend. So like this. Hips stay still, head stays still. Retract shoulder blades, push your shoulder blades away from each other. So in a way, even though I don't like this cue, it does work for some people. Sink into your shoulders, okay? Shoulder blades are kissing, the hips are tucked. You're not like this, you're like this. Push away, retract, push away. Let me get a little closer so maybe you can see better. Retract, push away. Retract, push away. Retract, push away. Retract, push away. Okay, that's the shoulder blades. Now let's move on to the elbow. So sit on your heels. If this isn't comfortable, you can sit with your legs in front of you. Try not to sit cross-legged though. So right hand on your left bicep. Keep your upper arm fixed. The elbow is not really a hinge joint. They don't really exist. There's rotation inside of the joint. So palm faces up, reach in, out, down, up, in, down. Okay, we're gonna do 3 or 4 in one direction. And then when I say direction, I just mean the way my palm is oriented. This is supinated. Let's go pronated. Up, say hello, push down. Up, in, down. Okay, one more. I think I did the right amount, 3 or 4. It's hard to keep track and talk at the same time. Left hand on your right bicep. Up, out, down. Up, in, down. My upper arm is staying fixed. This is just a really good way to push some fluid into the elbows, especially if you work on a computer all day and you do those little tiny minutia movements. You also want to do global movements like this. Okay, so I'm rotating inside of the joint. I'm moving my ulna in radius in all of its possible ranges of motion. Okay, now the wrist. Right hand around the right wrist. Okay, try not to have something around your wrist like I do. So you can make a fist or you can do this with your palm open. I like fist. I also like to hold like a firm ball or something. Okay, so I'm gonna hold a fist, in, up, out, down. So you're just trying to make the biggest circle you can with your hand. You will notice some cracks. You'll notice some weird catching sensations. You're not gonna love the way this feels. That's okay. That's totally normal. Just do 3 or 4 each direction. As long as you don't feel pain, you're good. Okay, other wrist. Make it intentional, okay? Don't make it like a chore or like a box you need to check. Why do something with 50% effort when really you can do it with 100 and get a lot more out of it? That's my mentality. Okay, so I hit all of my, pretty much like everything in my upper limb. Now we're gonna do the spine, which is a little bit more tricky. Don't worry about it being like not perfect, doesn't quite matter. The fact that you're trying to move your spine is great. Okay, one day it'll move like a slinky or a snake or whatever you wanna call it. So get into a tabletop. This is not your traditional cat-cow. From here, you want to start in flexion with your hips tucked and your chin tucked. We're going to move each vertebrae from the bottom to the top little by little. So from here, keep your head still, keep your upper back and your upper, middle, and lower half still. Start to untuck the pelvis, only the pelvis. Okay. Then start to work your way into your lumbar spine as you keep pushing into the ground with your hands. Slowly start to bring each vertebrae closer to the ground, working your way up the spine until you get to between your shoulder blades, and then right up into your cervical spine, into your neck, which is your cervical spine. Okay, notice if once you're here, you can go further. I'm at my end range, I can't go any further, but if you're here, you can likely go here. Okay, now keep everything where it is, start to tuck the pelvis. Keep your head and your upper back still. Try to bring your glutes towards your heel, and then work your way into the middle of the spine. You'll notice some stiff points. Start to push into the ground and get the shoulder blades away from each other. Now that you're here, tuck your chin, look between your knees. Okay, one more time. Untuck. Ideally, we want to do this 3 or 4 times up and back. Okay, I'll do it one more time. We'll make it 3 rounds. Okay, I kind of rushed that last one, but those are spinal CARs, controlled articular rotations. Now we want to just do some pelvic tilts just to hit the lumbar spine and the pelvis. Okay, from there we're going to do the hips, then the knees and the ankles. That's it. Okay? So, keep your top 75% still. Untuck the pelvis, think glutes or sit bones up towards the ceiling. Then hide your glutes. Bring them toward your heel. That's it, not this, just this. Okay? Untuck, tuck, untuck, tuck. Now breathe. Inhale, exhale. Okay? Also, I forgot one more, which is going to be the thoracic spine. I'll show you that after this one. Okay? This one, you can use a ball or you can just give yourself a hug. Okay, so it looks like this. Wrap your arms around you. Then keep your hips where they are. Do a big rotation with your ribs and your T-spine, right? So like pretty much this middle part, that's your T-spine, the 12 vertebrae, the area where your ribs attach, okay? So give yourself a hug, dip over towards your left, round your spine, tuck your chin. I'll do one like this from the side, and then I'll show you from the front, okay? Ideally, you want to be like this. I'm just not doing that because the mic will kind of like mess up the audio. Okay, so see how my hips and my legs don't move? Over to my left, tuck, reach the crown of my head down, over to my right, slightly extend, keep the chin tucked. Okay, so if you were going to do this with the ball, which I kind of prefer, you would do this, which gives you a lot more feedback and something to move against. Okay, so now on to now on to hips. Okay, so you can tuck your toes or you can keep the top of your foot down. Imagine there's a ball behind your knee and you're just going to trap that ball. Okay, so reach up towards the ceiling without dropping your belly. Open up to your side. Don't bend the elbow. Reach the knee in towards the chest. Bring it back up into extension. Other way, in towards your chest. Open. Swivel the knee back. In towards the chest. Go the other way. Keep it local in your hip and essentially tell yourself, draw the biggest circle you can with your knee without actually extending the knee. Okay, I will show you from the front with the other leg. Notice how I'm not shifting at all. Okay, that's the hip. I find that one to be incredibly important and useful for a warm-up on its own. Okay, so now we're going to do the knees and the ankles and maybe the feet a little bit. So tuck one leg in like this, kind of like a half butterfly, or if this is uncomfortable, you can do this seated. Wrap your hands around your hamstring. Just like the elbow joint, the knee is also sort of not a hinge joint either. It rotates, okay? So the tibia and the fibula rotate on the femur, okay? So keep your leg still. Your upper leg. Go in, up, out, down. Up, in, down. Also, this is one of those ones that's a little nuanced. Don't overthink it. Don't be like, I feel like I'm doing this wrong. Don't worry. Honestly, just moving your knee around like this is fantastic. Just to pump some fluid into the area. Because what's the one thing that gives your joints the message, hey, let's create more fluid to create a little bit more softness and easier gliding between joints? Movement, right? So when you wake up, you feel all stiff and weird. This is one of those things that's going to help combat that, okay? Other side, hamstring, in, up, out, down. So about 3 or 4 each direction. I understand how once you get to your bottom half, you may want to kind of brush it. Try not to. Each joint is just as important as the previous joint. Okay? Now we'll do the ankle, and we'll just kind of like throw in the foot with the ankle. Okay, so let's do some ankle cars. So wrap your arm around your hamstring again. You can do this because this is more of a solid lock. Then draw the biggest circle you can make with your foot. You can also hold on to your shin like this so that your shin doesn't move. I think this might be a little better. So in with your toes, point, forward, out to the side, in, down, out. Let me get a little closer. So do, let's say like 4 or 5 each direction here. The smaller joints go a little faster. Like this takes a lot less time than the shoulder. So we want to do more circles here. Also, this is the hands and the feet are the places in which you have the most muscles, individual muscles, and the most joints. So it's the most complicated joints of the body where the most fine motor skills happen. In general, that's actually your wrist, but you know, both of them are just as important. You're going to feel cracks. You're going to feel some weird sensations. That's totally normal. You just want to draw the biggest circle you can make with your toes. Okay, so that's it. This might have been longer than 7 or 10 minutes. I don't know how long this video is, but regardless, this is what you're going to want to do as often as you could, as a warm-up, as a de-stiffener, as a just move kind of a thing. Okay? I hope you enjoy.